Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning and welcome to Penn Vicarage. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining us for our Bible talk this morning as we continue our adventure through the book of Genesis. And today we're in chapter 27. I apologise for the problem with the sound yesterday. I hope that won't happen again and I hope it's working well today. Anyway, without further ado, Genesis chapter 27. Here we go. We pick up the story. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called his eldest son Esau and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." He said, "See, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me. Then prepare for me savoury food, such as I like, and bring it to me to eat, that I may bless you before I die." Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went out to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I heard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me game and prepare for me savoury food to eat, that I may bless you before the Lord before I die.' Now therefore, my son, obey my word as I command you. Go to the flock and get me 2 choice kids, so that I may prepare from them savoury food for your father, such as he likes. You shall take it to your father to eat, so he may bless you before he dies." But Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, "Look, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a man of smooth skin. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse on myself and not a blessing." His mother said to him, "Let that get your curse beyond me, my son. Only obey my word and go, get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother prepared savoury food such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. And she put the skins of the kids on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. And she handed the savoury food and the bread that she had prepared to her son Jacob. So he went in to his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Now sit up and eat of my game, so you may bless me." But Isaac said to his son, "How is it that you found it so quickly, my son?" He answered, "Because the Lord your God granted me success." Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near, that I may feel you, my son, and know that you really are my son Esau or not." So Jacob went up to his father Isaac, and who felt him, and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him. He said, "Are you really my son Esau?" He answered, "I am." Then he said, "Bring it to me, that I may eat of my son's game and bless you." Then he brought it to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said to him, "Come near and kiss me, my son." So he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, when Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of his father Isaac, his brother Esau came in from his hunting. He also prepared savoury food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, "Let my father sit up and eat of my son's game, so that you may bless me." His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" He answered, "I am your firstborn son Esau." Then Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who then was it who hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came, and have blessed him. Yes, and blessed he shall be." Then Esau heard his father's words. He cried out with an exceeding great and bitter cry, and said to his father, "Bless me also, father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully, and he's taken away your blessing." Esau said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and look, now he's taken away my blessing. Then he said, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" Isaac answered Esau, "I've already made him your lord, and I've already given him your brothers as servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Have you only one blessing, father? Bless me also, father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then his father Isaac answered him, See, away from the fatness of the earth shall your home be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. And when you break loose, you shall break his yoke from your neck. Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, The days of mourning for my father are approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. But the words of the elder son Esau were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called her younger son Jacob and said to him, Your brother Esau is consoling himself by planning to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Flee at once to my brother Laban at Haran, and stay with him a while until your brother's fury turns away, until your brother's anger against you turns away, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the Hittite women. If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women such as these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? And this is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Okay, it's a fascinating story and definitely one for the film rights. And there's a few things you can say. Firstly, in a sense, what started with there's a deep sadness in here. What started off as being a love match, Isaac and Rebekah, by this point has clearly gone sour, and they are competing. And what is more, also they're showing definite favouritism. Isaac is favouring Esau, and Rebekah is favouring Jacob quite clearly at this stage, and that's quite sad. And I think I suppose in a sense it does kind of demonstrate the importance of us of maintaining good relationships at home, and that great people of God haven't always had them, but it's important that we try and keep happiness at home. And then of course you've got what kind of happens here. Bear in mind Jacob was already stolen Esau's birthright, and I suspect in some way to try and amend the balance, Isaac tries to make some sort of deathbed will. So he noticed that even though Rebekah's prophecy had already said that Jacob was going to be the greater of the two, even though the second, he kind of secretly calls Esau to him in advance of giving him some blessing. He says, go and get me my favourite food. It's interesting actually that Isaac's heart does seem to have been connected with his stomach quite a lot. So he says, go and get some of my food and come back, and I'll bless you. Notice he does it without anyone knowing, without telling Rebekah or anybody. But Rebekah listens in and sort of usurps it by saying, look, I'll tell you what, Jacob, go do the same thing. Put some, so I know that you are smooth and your brother's a hairier person, but put some animal skin on, and your dad's old, he won't notice the difference, don't worry. And he kind of comes back, and then Isaac, he thinks he sniffs a rat, but I think his stomach gets the better of him, and he blesses Jacob without realising it. And then Esau comes back and realises what's happened in his absence, and then this deep cry. Notice he says it's not without reason that he was called Jacob, and Jacob means usurper or cheat, basically. This is kind of what happens. And like I say, it's quite difficult to sort of make morals out of this, the things that we can learn. I suppose in a sense, it says something about the character of Jacob, who in a sense was a chip off her own block. I guess he'd always picked his trickery up from his mother Rebekah, because she does at the beginning, doesn't she? And in a sense, you get something of the character of Jacob. And what's interesting here, he's stolen his brother's birthright, he's stolen his brother's blessing now. But it's interesting how what kind of happens in the next few chapters. He does kind of get his comeuppance. I think it's interesting. I've personally always said that I don't think Jacob is a particularly attractive character, but for some reason God loves him and God liked him. And one thing Jacob does have, which you find out in subsequent chapters, is Jacob's got huge amounts of stickability. He's not going to be outdone. He wants to be blessed by God, and he's going to get blessed by God, and he has that tremendous stickability about him. So many people in the Christian faith give up far too easily. But Jacob's someone with stickability. He hangs on in there. He's going to get blessed come what may. He's got that stickability. So you see something here of the character of Jacob. Although I have to say, having read this chapter again on mature reflection, It's interesting that Isaac was a bit of a cheat as well. I mean, bear in mind he called Esau to bless him by subtlety, in the hope that his wife and his other son wouldn't notice. There's quite a bit of that as well. But then at the end of the chapter, you get the fact that Isaac and Rebekah, so I think, suddenly realise, in a sense, just the kind of person that Jacob is, and they're absolutely certain that it's important that he marries the right person. They don't want him to marry a Hittite woman like his brother has. They want to make sure he marries the right person. I think, in a sense, to kind of keep him safe from his brother's anger with Laban, and also to make sure he kind of marries the right person, so that his trickery, if you like, can be kept in check. But it's a fascinating read. As I say, the intrigue, it kind of ebbs and flows. But here you have something of the character of Jacob, who Jacob becomes. And that kind of sets the scene for subsequent chapters. Anyway, my friends, I hope that's helpful. God bless you. Do watch again tomorrow. I hope the sound works better on this than it did yesterday. Thank you for watching. Bless you. Have a lovely